that God has the power to do what? To bring it back again. Hello? I think it's a matter of faith, whether we really believe the God that we are serving. If we believe him, we will not be able to withhold it. We will put it down. We will put it down and believe him to return it back to us. Sacrifice has to do with now. If you make up your mind to give the Lord a sacrifice, it is now. It is not a vow. Vow is for the future. Sacrifice is for now. It is not a sacrifice until it costs you something. And I mean, it places a genuine cost on your life in terms of time, your talent, or your treasure. It is only a sacrifice if it costs you something. And I want to ask again, what you are giving to God, is it costing you something? Some of us don't have time for evangelism. Some of us don't have time for services. Some of us don't have time to do one thing or the other for God. It tells a lot whether you are really offering what? The sacrifices that God desires. I'm not even talking about money now. Money is likely to be the last one. Because if you can't give yourself to God, it will be difficult for you to bring your money. Every time you are stagnated or things are tight, losing yourself with a sacrifice. This one is probably for some of us. Around you now, things are very tight. Nothing seems to be working. In fact, you are begging to eat. That is when to give a sacrifice. Sacrifice is not when you have so much. A lot of us will wait until we think we have before we give. It will be difficult for the lifting to come. When a man gives out of nothing, it makes God to recognize that if this man has, he will give. And then he goes ahead to do what? To bless him. An altar of sacrifice is God's covenant design for turning around your captivity. Not every sacrifice is acceptable to God. Hello? Now, I want you to know that even the people who are on the other side, powers of darkness, they know the power of sacrifice. That's why many a times when we are on the other side, when you go to them and you are asking for one favor, you are saying do one thing or the other for me, at times they will tell you to go and give a sacrifice. They say go and buy a akara, put it by the roadside, or call children. They will eat. God will help our children anyway. Give them food to eat. Cook rice for them. You know what I am saying. Okay, you don't know what I am saying. What they are doing is offering sacrifice. And it works. Hello? How much more the sacrifice you offer to God? I'm saying today that when things look as if they are very tough, tight, it is time to do what? Go ahead and offer a sacrifice. But not every sacrifice God accepts. What kind of sacrifice does God accept? It is a sacrifice that comes from a heart that is first offered to God. For God to accept your sacrifice, you must have offered yourself to God first. Listen to me. The sacrifice of your life, of your heart is what God desires. If you have not offered your life to him, every other thing you are giving to him doesn't really make sense to him. He desires your life first. He desires you first before the substance you are bringing. So for God to accept your sacrifice, you must be ready to first of all offer yourself. Number two is a sacrifice that comes from a willing heart. Everybody say a willing heart. If it is something you are forced to do, it's no longer a sacrifice. It must be something that has come from a what? A willing heart. 2 Corinthians chapter 8. 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Verse 12. He said, for if there be first a willing mind, it is accepted according to a man has, and not according to he has not. There has to be a willing heart first. And then God will accept it, and then will bless you. Are you following what I am saying this morning? Number 3, it must be something that costs you something. For it to be a sacrifice, it must be something that pained you, that touched you, that pained you. Like I said, it's not something you give and you just forget. It's something that will be recorded in your favor. What are the benefits? And I want to say that every sacrifice is designed to meet a particular need, your own need. And I pray for you that as you are led and offer these sacrifices unto God, every need, that particular need in your life, heaven will answer you in the name of Jesus. What are the benefits of sacrifices? Number 1, sacrifices reverses curses. You remember when Noah offered sacrifice in Genesis chapter 8, after the flood had covered the whole earth, God made a covenant with him and humanity that never again will I destroy the world with what? With flood. Terminates curses and establishes new covenant. The altar of sacrifice is the enactment of covenant. Psalm 50 verse 5. Psalm 50